Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I've got two tier 2 tickets. They're kind of burning a hole in my pocket. I know update 3 is coming, but we made a video about it. I asked you guys who you wanted me to tier 2 with my last ticket. I got 2 now, but I'm only gonna use 1. We're gonna be a bit prudent. We're gonna save 1, but we do have 1 to spend today. Now, a lot of you wanted me to use Hulk. Use it on Hulk. Get your Hulk to tier 2. Make Hulk great. Some of you guys want me to tier 2 Sharon Rogers, because you seem to think that I want to watch the world burn and go back on everything that I've said is sacred to the game. You don't put a chainsaw on another chainsaw, a bad man once said. Some of you even wanted Satana, and I can understand. She's got the boobies. I understand. You're vexed. I can see it in your eyes. You're not in control, but I am in control. I'm in the driver's seat of this hot rod, and this hot rod is driving straight to hell, baby. You know what that means, boys. Let's tier 2 Ghost Rider. Here we go, guys. So, Ghost Rider is one of the best characters in the game, and his tier 2 passive is really good because he does more damage to enemies who are supervillains. And I can't tier 2 Ghost Rider because he ain't fucking ready. But you know who I can tier 2, boys? The same character that you guys asked me, hey Cynicalex, scratches their eyebrow space lovingly. Who did you use your 300 biometric selector from the daily login bonus for? And Cynicalex replied, I don't fucking know. I ain't gonna tell you, dog. It's a secret. It was on Robbie Reyes, one of the other characters that you guys voted for me to tier 2. And guess what, baby? We gonna do it. So we got Robbie Reyes to tier 2. Let's do kind of a review basically of the character. I have played with him a lot more recently, and I think I have a pretty good idea of how you can gear out the character, at least at an intermediate stage. I'm not gonna give you the be all and end all for Robbie Reyes because I don't have the Uru. I don't have, you know, thank you for the nice job, mate. I don't have all of the in-depth tips, the crypt tips. But I've got some pretty good ones for you, and I think my experience speaks for itself. So let's roll on over to the garage. Rank 25,000, boys. I love this game. So let's check out Robbie Reyes tier 2. Let's check out the gears first. Energy, attack, and crit rate is pretty good. Those are solid stats. His second gear has energy defense, which is premium as a defense stat, and skill cooldown. Skill cooldown is important, so keep that in mind. HP is great, crowd control is whatever, attack speed and movement speed is so-so. He's only missing from that list of important orange stats, ignore defense or defense penetration. So defense penetration is not there on his main stats, but he does have a secondary stat, fuck no, I'm not tier 2ing Hulkling, secondary stat of skill cooldown. Now you guys will see on my ISO 8 set that I have Hawk's Eye, and if you guys don't know, Hawk's Eye gives skill cooldown, but I will say this is not the optimal set for Robbie Reyes. The optimal set for Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is an attack set, but it's actually Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive, whichever one you prefer. I'm gonna say that some people prefer the attack speed of Power of Angry Hulk, and if you have none on your cards, it could be very important. But other people prefer that crit damage, and it will get you higher scores in things like Universal Hero Extreme Alliance Battle if that's what you want it for. I do think that the crit damage is better for those types of situations than attack speed, but attack speed can be better in other situations. But I don't agree with Hawk's Eye, and I'm going to first explain why. If we go into his details page, we can see my Robbie Reyes has 38% skill cooldown. So he's overcapped by 2% because you get 14 from a level 30 alliance. If we get a little bit more technical, you go into gear. Note that he has 4%, or sorry, 2.5% on his reduced cooldown duration from his native gear, and he's got 5.5% ignore defense. That 5.5% comes totally from all of these ignore defense stats. So if you re-roll these from ignore defense to skill cooldown, you can cover the whatever 6 to 8% that you get from Hawk's Eye, meaning it's really not that important. So re-roll for either, or roll for either Overdrive or Power of Angry Hulk, re-roll his 4th gear for skill cooldown unless you have like way over 30% on your cards, which probably is suboptimal, and then you'll have him perfectly set up for both ignore defense and skill cooldown from the ISO and the gears. As far as the obelisks go for Robbie Reyes, like characters like Dormammu, Red Hulk, and Ghost Rider, you want to prioritize, of course, fire damage as the primary stat because that's going to scale his DPS up a lot. The secondary stat is not what I have. My obelisk is kind of shit. You want something along the lines of a damage proc, and the damage proc is very useful for Robbie Reyes because he has so many long iframes and he's got a guard on his 4th skill. So the guard plus the iframes on 5 and 3 make him incredibly hard to hit. Therefore, you really only need to go for a damage proc. If you want to go like super PvP, ultra PvP, you can go for the invincibility, but I think fire damage plus a damage proc is going to suit you beautifully. You can try to roll for double fire damage plus a damage proc. That's probably the bee's knees, or immune to guard break, fire damage, damage proc. Upon further inspection, guys, and I'm not perfect, guys, nobody's perfect, his 3rd skill, Demon Bind, gives him an all-speed buff, so actually there's only one correct set for Robbie Reyes, and that's Overdrive. That's going to give you crit damage and crit rate along with all attack, all defense, and ignore dodge, or ignore defense rather, and that would be the optimal set, I believe, for Robbie Reyes. But let's not just talk theoretically, let's jump into some gameplay, guys. We saved one world boss from the live stream. The live stream is pretty hype, I gotta say. And we're going to check out just how our new tier 2 performs. We're going to just use his regular leadership. I don't think Black Dwarf has any dodge, but we're just going to throw in some random strikers and see what's up if Robbie Reyes can clear this by himself. No leadership, nada. Here we go, guys. Robbie Reyes versus Black Dwarf. Robbie Reyes is a little bit slow off the get-go, but if we pop his 3rd skill, he's going to get that all-speed buff. It's going to be a lot easier for him to zip by with his different skills. Keep in mind that you will take bleed damage from Black Dwarf even if you are in your 4th skill animation, because although you have the guard hit, you do not have safety against bleed. The bleed goes through the guard hits. It only doesn't trigger, of course, against iframes because, as you guys know, iframes are unhittable. So you really want to prioritize 5 and 3 for that reason. 4 is a little bit less safe against Black Dwarf because the bleed will proc through that, but you can still use it once in a while to protect yourself from him, especially when he's doing moves like that. I just want to proc the 4th skill. I don't want to go through the whole animation because, like I said, I don't want to expose myself to that extra damage from the bleed. Also keep in mind that his 5th skill doesn't do fire damage, does physical damage on the car animation. So you saw there that Robbie Reyes was not dealing any damage to his shield when the car was driving by. The car deals only physical damage, which is really good against like enemy Ghost Riders and Infernos and stuff like that, but you will be in trouble against very high defense, physical defense characters who can ignore that car's damage. So we actually got it there. Robbie Reyes died at the end, but his residual damage from the knife chains got it. It looks like it was Karnak, but it was actually all Robbie Reyes. That's with no damage leadership, no strikers, and a freshly minted tier 2. Obviously, that's not a perfect run, and my neighbors didn't like it very much, so they're making a shit ton of noise. But that's okay. With an optimal build, I'm sure Robbie could run through Black Dwarf, but the iframe interaction between Black Dwarf and Robbie Reyes as far as his moveset goes is what makes that a little bit more difficult, but it's pretty obvious that Robbie Reyes is a fantastic tier 2. He can clear pretty much every other world boss with very little difficulty, and he's actually fantastic against Shadowlands. And I wanted to bring this up, I wanted to highlight this because I didn't actually discover this, but someone did, and it basically is the fact that you can't take reflect damage when you're doing an iframe move. So for example, Dormammu has a reflect, but you can defeat him with one character. In this case, it would be Thanos, because his 5th skill, Cosmic Drop, is a full iframe. So whereas a character like Doctor Strange, who has fewer iframes, will kill himself to reflect damage, Thanos won't against Dormammu if he uses that 5th skill. Same thing against someone like Destroyer. So you can ignore reflect, either physical or energy reflect, by doing a skill, an animation that has an iframe, as long as it's a full iframe. Robbie Reyes is perfect for the Shadowland stages with lots of reflect, i.e. the tremendously difficult, notoriously frustrating new Avengers with Wiccan and Hulkling and Squirrel Girl and Songbird and White Tiger. That is one of the worst, if not the worst, Shadowland stage in the game, and Robbie Reyes can clear it easily. And we have a clip for you guys of him rolling through it at tier 1. And I'm super excited in the next Shadowland rollout, when it resets in a few days, to try him out at tier 2, because I have no doubt that he is going to run through that stage like butter on a car seat in summer. Check it out. I'm not sure. So basically the idea is you just rotate through his iframes. So right now I'm avoiding the physical reflective Hulkling, because these are iframes, and then I'm going to avoid the energy reflect of Wiccan. As long as I don't get stun locked and die before then, should be fine. It's looking like he can, damn. Robbie Reyes, new Avengers Rumble killer. This is not my idea, by the way. I saw this on Reddit. Or I saw this somewhere. Maybe somebody in my alliance posted it. I don't know. Either way, this is fucking hilarious. This is awesome. This is great. Easy solo. Easy solo. Not fast. That was easy. Tier 1 Robbie Reyes. Fucking on them hoes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the review. I hope that you guys check out the live streams, because they will be moving to Twitch shortly from YouTube. That is a change that I have been thinking about making for a while now. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.